Okay, so Butterfly is a drama going out this evening at 9 o'clock, I think, with Anna Friel on ITV, and I want you to watch it. Now, Butterfly was made by a TV production company who thought they were getting child protection advice and used a charity called Mermaids. Mermaids are a small organisation who have gained prominence in recent years because they have been selling inducement of children into gender dysphoria, going into schools, telling them the regressive stereotypes mean that if you're a girl and you want short hair, that you somehow need to be on a lifetime of, hormone treatments and plastic surgery. And what they have been doing is they have been part of a wider organisation who have been part of a concerted attempt to undermine safeguarding. They have been selling to the media, and I know media, that we should be inducing dysphoria in children, we should be teaching children that their boundaries are not theirs, we should be inducing children into self-harming behaviours, including lifetime medicalisation, because if a child who's presenting with gender dysphoria, that's just a natural identity, because that will make adult male with gender dysphoria feel better. In fact, gender dysphoria in a child is an acute symptom of mental and emotional distress, which is also indicative, possibly, of sexual abuse. It's part of a wider organisation, the All Sorts Youth Pack, which I've covered here, which Claire Graham did an excellent bit on, has finally made it into schools, and immediately it's been seen as a breach of safeguarding, which is what it is. It asked for special needs children to be targeted and have dysphoria induced. It asked for children who were very clearly at risk to have adults have access to them without their parents and other professionals' consent. It's, this was very, very, very serious. And, we know that gender dysphoria, we know about identity disorders in children. We know that they generally do not grow up to be trans. And what Mermaids have been selling is the grooming of children into self-harming behaviours so they can be made vulnerable to adults, so they can validate adult identities. And in doing so, they're talking about doing this to very, very vulnerable children. Now, I want you to watch Butterfly very, very, very carefully. And I want you to watch it with this in mind. This is how easy it is to normalise grooming and harming children. This is how easy it is to make it look normal. There are very few people, if any, who were involved in the massive... it would have been hundreds and hundreds of people involved in this production from beginning to end. Not one of them will have thought they were doing anything but a good thing. And because they thought they were doing a good thing, and because they thought they were seeking advice off this charity, they didn't know that what they're about to broadcast is an example of grooming. Now, this debate is about to go nuclear because of all the abuse and the harm that the organisations around Mermaids have done to try and suppress this discussion in the last year, because of the physical abuse, because of the rape, because of the sexual abuse of lesbians, because of the attempts to stop women even meeting to discuss the rule of law. The demand that we treat basic safeguarding of children as hate speech and apartheid. I think Mermaids were repeated uncritically in The Guardian several times, saying that safeguarding children from predatory and abusive behaviour is apartheid. And I want you to watch it, and I want you to see what happens when elite institutions, when media institutions do not pay attention to safeguarding. Now, safeguarding is a partnership between parents, professionals and government. And it's about recognition about the vulnerability of children and the harm that can be done to children by adults projecting their needs onto them and using children for their own gratification. Now, these lessons have been hard learned over the 20th century. But I want you to watch this drama, and I want you to see how easy it is to normalise that we should pretend that that isn't the case. And I want you to look at the dangers of small charities being given the media attention and power that Mermaids have been given, especially by news organisations like Pink News and The Guardian. And then as this escalates, because I'm more a person who watches crisis and says this is about to happen, this is about to go fucking nuclear. Because this is going to be fired into people's living rooms, and the professionals watching it are just going to be going, what the actual fuck? I'd rather have a live daughter than a dead son, is emotionally abusive blackmail. You will never hear that from a professional. No professional would use the threat of suicide in a young person in that way. And we do not report suicide in that way, especially not when something is subject to social contagion, because to do that to young people is to encourage suicidal ideation and behaviours. And I want you to watch I want you to watch Butterfly, and I want you to research Mermaids, and I want you to read the All Sorts Youth Pack, and I want you to take this in mind. The next time adult males with a disorder specifically related to gender and sex tell you that they need safeguarding, undermined, they need us to ignore contested medical treatment frameworks for children, and we need to go against child cruelty legislation because it makes them feel better, the correct response is not brave and stunning. The correct response is what the actual fuck. Now, this is all about to pop. I have a feeling that this drama tonight is going to be part of it, and I feel a bit sorry for Anna Friel, and I feel a bit sorry for our management team, and I even feel a bit sorry for ITV, although they should have proper safeguarding advice on all dramas, and I'm quite shocked that they don't. Now, quite separate to this crisis, the child abuse inquiry is playing out, and in a year or so we're all going to be looking at review of the Children's Act, and I want you to remember this process. I want you to remember the grooming and how it was normalised on television. I want you to remember that literally a movement where adult males said we need safeguarding liquidated, we're going to use violence against women to impose it, and we want rapists and paedophiles to have access to children, and by the way, can you induce dysphoria in children, get them talking about sex, give adults access to them without their parents' permission, and we want them groomed into self-harming behaviours. And I want you to watch Butterfly tonight, and I want you to pay attention to how easily that is normalised and how that manipulation actually works, because grooming always starts with the institution and the parents, it never starts with the child. And this is how it happens. Now, this drama, I'm really sorry to those involved. The NHS have already had to distance themselves. We have good resources in this country. We have the Tavistock, who are an NHS resource, who will not be affirming only because they know that gender dysphoria in a young person is a symptom of acute emotional and mental distress, including which might even indicate sexual abuse. And I want you to watch how easy this was normalised, because it's really important. And as the search for scalps and absolution picks up, I want you to keep in mind how normal it was.